Cozy meals are at Panera. We're talking curled up on the couch in a blanket, comfort show binge sesh ready, kinda cozy. Because what goes better with a rerun than a warm bowl of broccoli cheddar soup or the always classic bacon turkey bravo? So throw on the throwbacks, hit that delivery button, and make the ultimate cozy meal at Panera. Let's be clear. There's no town in Connecticut called Stars Hollow. Honestly, not a single episode of Gilmore Girls was even filmed here. But fans still seek it out. A chance to experience the state that inspired creator Amy Sherman-Palladino to dream up their favorite fictional town. Growing up in Connecticut, I knew we didn't have a ton of claims to fame as a state. We'll tell you we have the pizza capital of the US, that we invented the steamed cheeseburger, and that we have the best college basketball teams. Go Huskies! Don't get me wrong, those things are great. But to me, Connecticut, sandwiched between two major cities, New York and Boston, has felt a little like the middle child, just trying to make a name for itself.
My theory about that was always because we've never really latched on to our own identity. Various people have grabbed an identity for us.
That's actor Ileana Douglas. She wrote the book Connecticut in the Movies, From Dream Houses to Dark Suburbia. She thinks that search for identity shows up in lots of media too.
The amount of movies made in Connecticut going back to the silent era tips over 300.
The Connecticut we see on screen tends to portray the extremes, idyllic country life or the darker side of suburbia.
If somebody wants to be sort of menacing, they're, a rich kid from Fairfield. If you want to show working class, they're from Bridgeport. And then, of course, you have the Hallmark movies of Connecticut and a lot of 30s movies that were country living comedies, and they were all Connecticut.
And some of the ways Connecticut is depicted feels accurate. The state is made up of 169 municipalities, all with their own personality. It's the state with one of the widest socioeconomic gaps in the country. Yes, there are cute small towns, but you also have big cities and manufacturing hubs, like Bridgeport or Happy Gilmore's hometown, Waterbury.
Hey, if I saw myself in clothes like those, I'd have to kick my own.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Waterbury Open.
And then there's the old money mansions on the Gold Coast of southern Connecticut, towns like Fairfield and Greenwich that are suburbs of New York City, an area that inspired the horror satire Stepford Wives.
And then I asked myself, where would people never notice a town full of robots? Connecticut.
And today, Ileana says, Connecticut mostly symbolizes one thing in films.
That's our current kind of identity that we're stuck in right now, is that if you see a movie and you see a couple and they're headed to Connecticut, we know pretty much something terrible is going to happen to them.
It's perfect. It's spacious and affordable. I'm just wondering, where's the catch?
Well, it does have a bit of a history.
A haunting in Connecticut, anyone? That's why the first time I saw Stars Hollow on my screen, I thought, there's no way this is supposed to be Connecticut. A show that didn't involve robots or exorcisms? Just a nice town with some good people?
I like that it's based in Connecticut because you don't really find a lot of shows or movies that are based in Connecticut. So it's some nice representation of my home state.
Turns out, I wasn't the only Connecticut native surprised by this representation.
I love the Gilmore Girls. I love that it's very quintessential Connecticut, that it embodies the wholesomeness of our state. What other show showcases the charm and character and love than the Gilmore Girls?
Year after year, fans of the show flock to Connecticut for a taste of Stars Hollow.
We came over to the town square for the gazebo probably about 2 Novembers ago with my best friend when I moved from Texas to Connecticut. And she flew in from Puerto Rico and we had our little Gilmore Girls road trip.
Okay, the highlight of this trip was when we were walking through the town holding our coffee cups. This year they had troubadours playing the music in the gazebo, and we just had our arms linked with our coffee, and we felt fully like Lorelai and Rory, and it was just the best moment.
They come here for fan festivals, day trips, and we even talked to some who made the visits more permanent.
We used to live in Long Island, and we couldn't find a place we liked in Long Island to move to buy a house. So I said to my wife, I just think I want to live in Stars Hollow. So she started looking in Connecticut, and now we live here, and we get to have our slice of Stars Hollow every day.
I lived in California, and watching Gilmore Girls kind of just opened a whole new reality for me, and I decided that I was going to move across the country. Never been to Connecticut, never knew anyone here or anything, and I just moved to Connecticut.
Whoa. Maybe the state should cut Amy Sherman-Palladino a check. This connection means a lot to those of us who live here. Sure, we love to poke fun at our home state sometimes, but we also crave a little recognition for the nice things about it too. The truth is, if your only knowledge of Connecticut comes from Gilmore Girls, you'd probably expect that our whole state is white and wealthy. Sure, there are parts of the state that are like that, but if you visit, you're going to end up surprised. Because the show doesn't get everything right. This episode will take you around the state. To the small towns that inspired creator Amy Sherman-Palladino.
We call it It's Disney World for Gilmore Girls fans.
And see the parts of our cities that were overlooked.
People don't know that Connecticut has both worlds, that, you know, in the Gilmore Girls, we do only really see one.
We'll road trip with you to see how the real-life places compare to what we see on our screens. From Connecticut Public, I'm Chloe Wynn. This is Generation Gilmore Girls, a show about the TV we love and how it shapes us. Episode 3. Welcome to Stars Hollow, Connecticut. In the late 90s, Amy Sherman-Palladino landed a meeting with network executives at the WB.
She was pitching a whole bunch of ideas, and the studio wasn't really grabbing onto any of them. And then she just said, mother-daughter, I really want to do a mother-daughter show, and they loved that concept.
That's Michelle Gora. She works for the town of Washington, Connecticut.
Well, this is our town hall, obviously, and I'll show you some of the important spaces.
And she shares the origin story of Gilmore Girls with a lot of visitors like me. Because after that pitch meeting, Amy and her husband Dan took a trip to Hartford. They visited the Mark Twain House and Museum, right near Connecticut Public Studios. But they stayed about an hour away, in the country hills of Michellestown, in the northwest corner of the state, at a small inn.
The Mayflower Inn in Washington.
Which is why Lorelai works at an inn, by the way.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Dragonfly Inn. Oh, will you look at this place? It's paradise.
There was something about the small town that really appealed to Amy. She recently told The Hollywood Reporter, "It was leafing season. It was bucolic and beautiful in October. The leaves were changing and there were signs up for pumpkin patches and hay rides. And it was like, what the f***? I come from California. There's no pumpkin patches and hay rides here. It felt like the whole thing was straight out of Central Casting." Connecticut really shows off in the fall. It's beautiful. The colorful leaves, the festivals, the coziness. This is probably the reason that Gilmore Girls has become a fall rewatch for fans. It even inspired a whole internet aesthetic trend thanks in part to Richard Gilmore's color season.
So what's the verdict?
I am an autumn.
Even though Amy's visit was brief, Michelle sees a lot of Washington in the fictional town of Stars Hollow.
I don't know how long she spent here, but she clearly spent time in town because she talks about what she saw, the people pouring themselves coffee.
We're running out of coffee.
Yeah, I'll make some more.
No, I got it.
Amy tells the Deseret News that scenes she wrote during her stay in Washington actually made it into the pilot. Michelle has some theories about why.
It doesn't look like the studio set. It doesn't exactly look like the Gilmore Girls, but the people, the characters, the way we operate, we still have town meetings.
This town meeting will come to order.
No one is listening to me.
Oh, Taylor, calm down.
I can't calm down. I'm being persecuted.
We still vote for our town budget with a show of hands. That, I think, is the part that she really captured well.
Washington is small, a few thousand people. And the 2020 census says the town is about 90% white. The cast of Gilmore Girls is actually more diverse than the town it's based on. Washington is also pretty rural. Lots of New Yorkers have country homes here to trade the city for a taste of classic New England. And Michelle's kinda the official tour guide for people searching for the real Stars Hollow.
I was actually contacted by the Connecticut Office of Tourism last year because they had, I think it was like 5 travel journalists coming from Ireland. And so they were going to tour them around the state, and they asked them what they wanted to see. And the first thing they asked was, can we go to where the Gilmore Girls was based on? It is worldwide, and people pilgrimage here, and it is so touching.
Walking around town, I can tell why Amy was inspired by Washington. It feels quaint. Michelle says it's kind of off the grid.
So we offer free Wi-Fi because we don't have cell service. So if you are lost, people around, nobody uses maps anymore. So it's pretty critical.
It takes Luke's no cell phones policy to a new level. Even the people in town feel like they could be actors on set, like Lisa Stein. She's owner of the local food market that looks exactly like Dosey's on the show. I half expected Dean Forrester to help bag groceries at the checkout.
Like, that's kind of like the life here. Everyone kind of just steps in and helps each other out. If we're busy, somebody will take their own order or something, or step back and go, oh, do you want me to go back there and grab it for you? You know, I know you're busy or something. It's just kind of has this unique charm, especially in our store. But yeah, the small town vibe is definitely alive and well.
Yeah.
We even wandered into Hickory Stick Bookshop.
Wow. Isn't it adorable?
I felt just like Rory walking into Andrew's bookstore in Stars Hollow. And we met bookseller Carrie Gallagher.
A couple years ago, my mom was like, have you ever heard of a show called The Gilmore Girls? She's like, I'm watching it, and it's so good. And I'm like, yeah, Mom, it's based on the town I grew up in. So it's very funny how everything comes full circle like that.
We asked her, how does Stars Hollow compare to Washington?
The small town vibes is really what they nailed.
But they didn't nail everything.
Their geographical understanding of Connecticut is like just, it's
yeah. And like, yeah, I feel like they don't drive enough either. I'm like, why is everyone walking? Like, everyone's walking all over the place. I'm like, you'd be in the middle of the woods all the time if you were truly walking everywhere.
This always bothered me too. There is no way a bus would have run from a small town like that to Hartford, let alone in 40 minutes. Fans exploring Connecticut will inevitably stop in Washington, but there's another place about 20 minutes down the road that competes for the most Stars Hollow town. There's even a website, starshollow.org, that argues
New Milford is Stars Hollow.
We talked to the creator of that website, Lockie Coughlin. She owns a little bookstore in town. Lockie says fans come from all over the world to visit New Milford.
Because we call it's Disney World for Gilmore Girls fans.
New Milford's town green even has a bandstand that looks just like the gazebo in Stars Hollow. And while Washington has about 4,000 residents, just a fraction of the population of New Milford, they both feel charming. Just a stone's throw away from that bandstand is Lockie's bookstore. Lockie loves Gilmore Girls, partly because it feels so true to her life.
It's my life. It's my life. My mom is like Emily Gilmore. She grew up in Greenwich, very much about, no white after Memorial Day.
Labor Day, but that's okay.
And I went to prep school, so I could identify with everything. I obviously live in Connecticut, grew up in Connecticut. So I think that, it was very familiar.
Lockie opened Honeybee Books and Tea with one of her daughters a few years ago. Shelves upon shelves of titles, couches with pillows and patchwork quilts, and a coffee and tea bar, perfect for curling up with a new read. We ran into another mother and daughter duo at the Gilmore Girls section of the store.
Jane Austen wrote a book named Emma.
Yay.
Just like you. So this is Rory's Reads. It says, I just take a book with me everywhere. It's a habit.
So this whole shelf is Rory's Reads.
I guess they curated it for it because they've got like the Yale postcards here.
So is this a book? Is Emma a book of Rory's?
She must read it in the show at some point. Yeah.
Huh. Well,
yeah, they said yes. Rory has read these across the entire series, plus 400 more. We may need a bigger shelf.
Stars Hollow is filled with small business owners. No big box stores. Take Fran and her bakery, Andrew and his bookstore, and of course, Luke and his diner. The show makes owning a small business look special, romantic even. So we asked Lockie, how does the reality compare to what it's like on the show?
Oh, it's just like the show. It's just like the show. It's so funny.
In fact, Lockie's real life in New Milford has pulled her attention away from the TV version.
Honestly, I don't watch the show that much anymore because I'm living it. Like, we actually live it every day. So every time I sit down to watch it now, I'm like, it's so much more fun to just go to the bookstore and hang out with people.
Lockie loves her town of New Milford. And this was true of so many fans we spoke to. Like I said, Connecticut has 169 towns. For a tiny state, that's a lot, and they all hold fast to their identity. We asked about the real Stars Hollow at fan events across the state, and we encountered a ton of town pride.
Durham, because it's like really small and it has a lot of little quirky shops in it.
I feel like there's an element of it throughout all the little towns, whether it's Ridgefield or Weston.
I live in Ashford and it's very Stars Hollow. It is a small town. It has a gazebo right outside of the senior citizen housing. Like, there's town events. I love it there.
I grew up in Putnam, Connecticut, and their Main Street now rocks. There's no gazebo, but it's a great little town with lots of little shops and fun places to eat.
Personally, I always thought Collinsville looks exactly like Stars Hollow. And honestly, if residents around the state think their town is the real Stars Hollow, Gilmore Girls was onto something. It clearly captured the essence of some of our communities. But the show also ventures elsewhere.
People don't know that Connecticut has both worlds, that, in the Gilmore Girls, we do only really see one.
That's after a short coffee break. Cozy meals are at Panera. We're talking curled up on the couch in a blanket, comfort show binge sesh ready kind of cozy. Because what goes better with a rerun than a warm bowl of broccoli cheddar soup or the always classic bacon turkey bravo? So throw on the throwbacks, hit that delivery button, and make the ultimate cozy meal at Panera. Gilmore Girls really idealizes a lot about Connecticut, even the public transit system.
How long does it take you to get to school?
40 minutes if the bus driver's focused, but longer if he's trying to win something on the radio. Hey, this bus is going to Hartford.
Hartford, our capital city, nicknamed the insurance capital of the world, right in the center of the state, the setting for Rory's fictional prep school, Chilton. And it's where every Friday night, Lorelai and Rory visit the wealthy Emily and Richard Gilmore.
So, Grandpa, how's the insurance biz?
No, people die, we pay. People crash cars, we pay. People lose a foot, we pay.
If your only sense of Hartford came from watching the show, you might think the city is filled with grand estates like the elder Gilmores. That's far from true. But there is an area that feels like Emily and Richard could live there. It's the west end of Hartford, north of the Elizabeth Park Rose Gardens. There are a few streets that are contenders, like Prospect Avenue, home to the governor's mansion. About 3 miles from there, we met Hartford native Rory Gale. Yes, Rory. Short for Aurelia, not Lorelei. Her name's just a coincidence. She owns the gift shop Hartford Prince and organizes a Gilmore Girls festival downtown in an area that actually had a cameo in the show. She says somewhere in the first season,
you see an exterior shot of Pratt Street. They didn't ever bring the characters to downtown, but Lorelei's Jeep is parked right in front of Bloom Bake Shop, and when she enters the scene, she opens the door and goes into a coffee shop. It's like finding all those nuggets when you're from the state is so special.
We looked it up. It's season 1, episode 5, when Lorelei meets Rory's Chilton teacher, Max Medina, for coffee.
So, here we are.
Here we most certainly are.
Running into each other.
Away from school.
Rory is clearly a fan. She loves that the show is set in her home state, but she feels like they didn't do a great job capturing all of the life outside of Stars Hollow.
They don't really do enough in Hartford to really let you feel the city, because it's coming from Chilton and from Richard and Emily's experience, so it's very high society, and you don't really get to see what Hartford is like.
Hartford's a city where you could stop for Caribbean food for lunch, Puerto Rican cuisine for dinner, and hit up happy hour at a Pratt Street salsa social.
And so, it was a missed opportunity for maybe Rory and Lorelei, who's so quirky, who might find a cool vintage shop in Hartford, or go out to see a concert.
Like any city, it has its socioeconomic challenges. It also has so much more. An historic carousel, the oldest continuously operating public art museum in the United States, theaters, baseball, hockey, soccer, literary history. Woo! Stop me. I'm running out of breath. So Hartford is not just the high society world of Richard and Emily Gilmore that the show might have you believe.
People don't know that Connecticut has both worlds, that, in the Gilmore Girls, we do only really see one.
Gilmore Girls is a product of its time. A lot of popular television shows from the 90s and 2000s were really lacking diversity. There was a study done called Fall Colors. How diverse is the 1999 to 2000 TV season's primetime lineup? And it turned out that the WB network had the second highest diverse representation at the time, 23%. Compare that to UPN's 35%. Remember UPN classics like Moesha and Girlfriends? The networks with the lowest representation, NBC, the network home of Friends, with 16%, and ABC, just 13%. So on your next Gilmore Girls tour, don't miss out on all the other great parts of our state that didn't make it on the show. And get your road snack ready, because we've got another city to check off our list. That's after a quick break.
Hey Generation Gilmore Girls listeners, want to dive deeper into another TV show? Check out our first season, Generation Barney. It's about the purple dinosaur, but it's also about music, love, and the Barney backlash, toys, and nostalgia. Most of all, it's about the television that helps us become who we are, from the station that helped launch Barney into the world. Find Generation Barney wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey friends, admit it, you're enjoying Generation Gilmore Girls and want even more long-form storytelling like this. So do your part. Consider supporting Connecticut Public with a donation. Connecticut Public is a nonprofit media organization. Support from members and listeners like you make podcasts like this possible. Visit ctpublic.org/donate to contribute $5, $10, $15, whatever you can. Now, let's get back to Generation Gilmore Girls. We have one stop left on our Gilmore Girls tour of Connecticut.
I went back and rewatched the episode. It's somewhere in season 5 where Rory gives a tour to a Chilton student who's coming to Yale the next year.
Yale. We took a campus tour with junior Zoe Frost.
The concept of the episode is that Rory's really into the Yale history and she's trying to give this girl a tour, and the student really just wants to go off and party and talk to boys.
The oldest part of the campus is, of course, the old campus, and it houses most of the undergraduate freshman class. It was begun by Theodore Dwight Woolsey, president of Yale, from 1846 to 1871.
When Rory was giving her the tour, all of the facts that she was saying, like the numbers, the statistics, all of the historical things, were very accurate, were what we say on our tours.
For most of the later seasons of Gilmore Girls, Rory is a student at Yale. That's in New Haven, along the Central Coast. And to be clear, Yale is just part of New Haven, a city of 130,000 residents, with concert venues, a huge town green, hiking trails, the world's best pizza, a Beats, and so much more. But we did have to go see campus, and the beautiful old stone buildings did not disappoint.
Obviously, it wasn't filmed here, but a lot of the shots do look very Yale-esque, as you'll see when we're walking around, I'm sure.
Yale scenes were actually shot in California, at Warner Brothers Studios, Pomona College, and USC. But just like in Gilmore Girls, Yale has residential colleges. Though Zoe says in real life, Rory never would have been assigned a room with her high school frenemy, Paris Geller. There are secret societies, possibly like the Life and Death Brigade on the show, but they are secret, so we can't confirm. Shh. There is really an a cappella group called the Whiffin' Poofs, and they actually sang on the show. It's the episode about the annual Harvard-Yale football game. The schools really do alternate hosting it.
There's a lot of rivalry, the chanting, the wearing the colors, all that stuff, but it's very friendly too, which is nice.
And honestly, the thing we were most excited about was meeting Handsome Dan the 19th, the very real bulldog mascot / celebrity.
Yeah.
So famous.
He is very famous. Walking around with him is like, you can't get anywhere, because everyone wants to stop and take a picture. Yeah, and he's super friendly. I mean, he loves the attention, so he's a good guy for the job.
Zoe says they even pay tribute to Dan in the Yale fight song.
Bulldogs bow wow wow Eli Yale.
When the marching band plays that song, they play burr, burr, like bulldogs, and the second time they play it, they bark in between, so they go bulldogs, bulldogs.
We could practically hear Richard Gilmore's voice ringing in our ears.
The original Handsome Dan.
The very first Yale mascot.
Oh my.
Just look at him, will you? Strong, determined, the very essence of dignity.
And yes, there really is a taxidermy Handsome Dan the First. It was gifted to the Peabody, Yale's Natural History Museum. But it's not on display. For some students, Gilmore Girls is a cultural touchstone on campus.
It's like everyone's wearing like the Aran knit sweater, or like it's the white chunky sweater. If people don't know what Aran knit is, everyone calls it the Rory Gilmore sweater.
That's Alexis Lamb. She's also a junior at Yale. We reached out to her because of an article she wrote in the Yale Daily News. Yes, that's the paper Rory and Paris work on in the show.
Me and my friends specifically really like to say, why did you drop out of Yale? Like the Jess reference. Whenever finals or midterms get hard, we just like joke about that. If like one of us say, oh, what if I just dropped out?
Walking around Yale, it's not hard to look for the students who seem the most Rory-like. And Alexis's personal connection to the show certainly puts her in the running. Her mom is a huge fan. She even named her after Alexis Bledel, who plays Rory on the show. And the two still connect over it today.
Like she'll mention something randomly like Rory, and she was like, oh, like you turned out so much like her. Like this is why I named you after her.
Alexis grew up in California, just like show creator Amy Sherman-Palladino. So the whole East Coast was novel to her before she stepped onto Yale's campus, right into Rory's world. And one thing caught her eye immediately.
I was like, where are the coffee carts? And they were like, what coffee carts?
You've been hanging out at this coffee cart every day for a week.
Yes, it's sad. I'm officially a wuss.
Sorry to disappoint ya. The coffee carts on campus are a bit of a myth. There is a coffee bus, though. That's not the only way Alexis's life looks different from the show.
Definitely did not grow up in the wealthy classes of Hartford, Connecticut. Very much is the kind of typical Asian American immigrant story.
Alexis's mom grew up in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam.
She grew up very, very poor. My mom and the rest of my family ended up coming to the States between like the late 80s and the early 90s. She went to college in California. All my family members worked really, really hard to kind of get to where they are now.
Alexis says despite the major differences, she thinks the show spoke to her mom because it followed strong women, and Alexis's family is full of them. Alexis was inspired by Rory growing up, how bookish and ambitious she was. Rory made it cool to be smart, but now she sees the show a little differently.
While I watch it now, it's like I get a little glimpse of like my younger self, and I'm able to feel that kind of nostalgia, but it's also very much like that's just what it is. It's just nostalgia. It's both a thing that I could delude myself with, but it's also something that's like a sort of wake-up call that it's like I'm in the real world now, and I can escape from it from a little bit, but not for too long once the episode ends.
The pressures of schoolwork, deadlines, finding a job after graduation, she says that part might be glamorized on the show. And if Alexis could tweak another part of the show,
there could be more representation, but that doesn't take away any of the beautiful qualities that are a part of the Gilmore Girls story, because this is ultimately a story just about a mother and daughter and their relationship. And while I wish there was more representation, I think like that kind of theme is kind of universal.
Amy Sherman-Palladino may not have nailed everything about Connecticut, but it's still fun for fans like me to see our home state represented on Gilmore Girls, to see them mention our towns.
What are you doing here?
I was on my way back from Stamford. My car decided to stop.
Here?
Yes.
In my town.
Or our local highways.
What trucker crowd?
The trucker crowd off Highway 84.
Since when does the trucker crowd off Highway 84 come through Stars Hollow?
Since we installed an icy machine.
Even though we never call it Highway 84. Or how the show celebrates all 4 seasons and how beautiful they can be.
I smell snow.
It's that time of year.
So where should you go to catch the essence of Stars Hollow? We asked Jenny Whitaker. She's the organizer of the annual Firelight Fan Festival. You met her in the last episode.
I've driven the whole state of Connecticut, the perimeter, the interior. I've gone every single small town in Connecticut.
Not literally, but still. I've spent most of my life here, and I can't even say that. So we asked Jenny, where is the real Stars Hollow? She would know.
Oh, I think Amy is an incredible writer with an incredible mind, and I think it's what's the word? Amalgamation?
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think it's an amalgamation of Amy's thoughts. I don't think it really exists in Connecticut. I've been to all the towns. There's nowhere that I would say that's exactly it.
I definitely agree. For one, it makes no sense where Stars Hollow is in relation to Hartford or New Haven.
I think it was Amy drove around and she created it in her own head. And she knows where Stars Hollow is. Like, she has it pictured, but I don't think it was one place. That may not be a super popular opinion, but that's mine.
We all want this little town to exist. We want to visit or move there. But Jenny's right. Stars Hollow is a mix of a lot of Connecticut. And maybe that's good. Maybe that means we'll never actually visit and be let down by it. Or maybe it means we can create it. When we started this podcast, we set out with a question. Why does Gilmore Girls resonate so much 25 years after its premiere? We asked actor Emily Kuroda. You know her as Mrs. Kim, Lane's mom from the show. We ran into her at Jenny's festival in Guilford.
It's a good show. It is.
Leave it to Mrs. Kim to not beat around the bush here.
It's written great. She's hired a lot of theater actors. The actors are just perfect, and there's something about the chemistry. It just created magic, and I am so lucky to have been a part of that magic, and it continues on. I think we're hitting like the 5th generation now. We have hit 5 generations, and it continues to grow, and I'm very happy about that.
Emily's right. 25 years after its premiere, Gilmore Girls spans 5 generations of fans. There were the original Emily Gilmores, baby boomers, Lorelai's, Gen Xers, and Rory's, millennials like me, who watched the show on TV. And now Gen Z and Gen Alpha keep finding it on streaming. But Emily Kuroda says there's something more to why the show resonates.
I'm a woman of few words, but actually, I don't like accolades and stuff like that. I don't like it. But what I like about this Gilmore thing is that it seems to have touched so many people. And because of that, I am touched. And it's not about me. It's about the fans, it's about the show, it's about this community. So it means a great deal to me.
Community. That's what we kept hearing over and over again. Yes, the community in Stars Hollow, but also the community that exists around the show in real life. One a lot of us wish we could have.
Gilmore Girls makes me feel like it's my home away from home wherever I am. So if I just put it on, if I'm feeling down, if I'm just in a bad state, or I just want something on even in the background, it just makes me feel really, really good. It's like that community that you wish you grew up in.
There's like this epidemic of loneliness. Like so many young people especially just like don't have authentic friendship. And I think what we see especially in a town like Stars Hollow is like there's these like lifelong connections. Like sure, there's like small town, you know, small-mindedness, all those other things too, but there's like a camaraderie that comes together. And so I think that like, yeah, it's very needed. I think it's what's really attracted people to. It's like we all long for those more meaningful connections and like to belong to a community.
The more we drove around the state and talked to fans, the more we thought,
the real Stars Hollow is wherever we are, if I'm being honest. We make the Stars Hollow. We are the townspeople. We are the creators of Stars Hollow.
One fan did something interesting when I asked him where the real Stars Hollow was. He tapped his chest.
You pointed to your heart.
I did, because I think people bring it with you everywhere you go, right? And again, that whole idea of feeding it, it follows you, right? And I think that's why the show is so impactful.
Gilmore Girls created a world a lot of us want to live in, where women can be funny and complex and surrounded by a community full of people who are free to be themselves, and they're even celebrated for it. It's nice to think that one place exists, but maybe we can make it for ourselves. And whether Stars Hollow is a physical place we can visit or not, we know it'll always be on our TV screens, waiting for us whenever we need it. This episode was reported, written, and produced by Lily Tyson and me, Chloe Wynn. It was edited and produced by Cassandra Basler. Sound design and mixing by Jake Howitt. Music in this episode from APM. Megan Fitzgerald is our project manager. Ayanna Brown and Tyler Russell are our visuals producers. Our show art was created by Sam Hockaday. Additional editing help from Sabrina Herrera, Robin Doyon-Aiken, Jonathan McNichol, and John Henry Smith. Thank you to our interns V. Zuong and Tali Ricketson. Marketing support provided by the Podglomerate. Legal review by Lou Levy from the firm Lerman Center PLLC. Lauren Komrosky is our Chief Digital Officer. Vanessa De La Torre is our Chief Content Officer. Thanks to the fans who talked with us. For this episode, we visited the Firelight event in Guilford, Stars Hollow Saturday in Hartford, and a weekend in the life in New Milford. we heard from
Katerina,
Idalita,
Kayla Beth Smith,
Tom Evans,
Nia, and I'm from Vernon, Connecticut.
I'm Emma, and we're from Newington.
Cherie from Newington.
Heather Lau.
Noelle Reed, I'm from Thompson, Connecticut.
Hey sugar, my name is Bebette, but actually it's
Kelly Doherty.
Elena Neese.
AJ Kwan.
Lauren Spiegel. And this is my husband, Jared Spiegel.
To learn more about the podcast and to see photos and videos, visit ctpublic.org/Gilmore. I'm Chloe Wynn. Generation Gilmore Girls is a production of Connecticut Public.